Fellas, imagine this. You go on a first date with a woman and she happens to be a foot model. You're feeling good, the vibes are okay, and then you ruin it all by saying, hey, can I smell your feet? She says no, obviously. And instead of eating a rejection like a man, you run her over with your car. Listen, I don't know what you new dudes are doing these days, but that is not game. That is a potential manslaughter charge. And that's exactly what happened in this story today. Today we're talking about this wild Florida story where a man literally ran over a woman, allegedly, because she wouldn't let him sniff her toes. Yes, you heard me right. She wouldn't let him sniff her toes. And because of that, he thought it was appropriate to try and clap her with this Honda Civic. I don't know where you guys come from with these ideas, but listen, that ain't it. Now, this story does sound funny, but we're gonna break down what this really says about men, what it says about rejection, and why some dudes just can't handle being told no. Now listen, stick around because I'm gonna give you the raw truth about these things, and as someone who's been rejected in his earlier years in life, I know a thing or two about what it feels like when someone that you like tells you no. But the difference is I'm not running people over with my cars. So maybe y'all can learn something. Anyway, let's get into it. All right, so here's the story. According to police reports, a Florida man takes out a foot model on their very first date. Cool. Now, some of you already know, Florida is undefeated when it comes to crazy ass headlines, but this one might actually take the crown. Now, at some point during the night, this man asked if he could smell her feet. Now, obviously she's gonna recline, but she did it respectfully, right? Like, she wasn't like, "Ew, get away from me." She was like, no. Like, what the fuck? No. And you would think this would be the end of it, but no. And I mean, guys, if I don't know if any of you ever get inspired to ask some weird shit like this, but if you do and she says no, just, you know, take it like a man, brush it off, act like it was a joke, right? Although you might have been serious, right? Like, how many times do we get caught up in those situations where we say something like jokingly, hoping that it passes off as a joke and they're actually with it? But, you know, just in case you could say it was a joke, but you're low-key actually dead-ass serious. So instead of laughing this off, my man decides the next logical step is to hit her with his Honda Civic. Like, literally clap her with the Honda Civic, like on some GTA shit. He literally ran her over, left her injured, and then tried to dip. Now listen, I'm not saying that any of this is okay, but bro, how did you possibly expect you would get away with this? Like, this is the thing that trips me out with some criminals. Like, you know how they say there's some criminals that are emotional and they just do things like as it happens, like it's just a reaction, and sometimes obviously the reaction is like uncalled for, and then you have those kind of criminals who like premeditate and like think about the shit that they do, you know, the real psychopaths. I feel like the people that are just reactionary or just reactive, those are the real crazy ones, because I mean, what sense does it make? Hey, can I smell your feet? No. All right, let me run you over with my car. Can someone in the comments let me know if that makes sense? And while you're down there, make sure you hit that subscribe button too. Listen, we're on the road to 10K. I want you to be a part of this conversation. And listen, between you and I, you're already here. You're watching me. You like the content. Come on. Come on in. All right, so homeboy is now facing charges with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. And I mean, let's be honest. Like, bro, what are we doing? Just like I said earlier, how do we go from can I sniff your feet to running you over with my car? Like, what was the thought process in between those two moments? I don't understand. And listen, before I get into rejection and why some of you absolutely suck at it, let me know some of the stories. I'm curious because I've got a plethora of my own rejection stories. I'll tell y'all one right now, actually. So this was 7th grade. I was like enamored with this girl. I'm not gonna say her name, but was absolutely enamored with this girl, and we were friends, right? Like at that time, I feel like it's kind of normal for boys and girls to be friends because like y'all aren't really trying to do stuff like that, right? Until you hit like 13 or so. But anyway, I was right around that age, right? And during that time, like I had some feelings for this girl. So like I was talking to my friend at the time, and you know, he told me, he was like, listen, why don't you just stop being a bitch? Listen, it was the early 2000s. Growing up was much different than today's day and age, but that's basically what he told me. And I was like, damn, you know what? He's kind of right. So the next day I put on my best fit. Yo, I wish I took a picture of this outfit, but it was like what I'd say was my best fit. I had my brother's hand-me-down Coogee jacket. It was like multicolored. I was looking crazy. I mean, I was overweight, so I kind of looked like Biggie, but not really. If anything, I actually kind of looked like Mr. Clumps or Ned from Ned's Declassified, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, I approached this girl. I walk up to her. You know, I say hi, stuff like that, because, you know, we were friends, normal shit. And I'd start to tell her, like, I was like, hey, can I talk to you for a second? Like, can we just like step away from everybody so I don't get fucking embarrassed? And, you know, she declined and told me to tell her in front of everyone, right? So like basically whatever I gotta say, I might as well just say it in front of everyone else too. And I did. Needless to say, that didn't turn out too well. She actually looked at me and was like, ew. I mean, hey, all's well that ends well. Now she's a single mom. I'm kidding. No, honestly, the moral of that story is, listen, rejection happens to everybody, right? But I'm not going to keep on yapping. You let me know your craziest rejection moment in the comments below, and let's continue. We live in a world where dudes think no is negotiable.
How you doing?
Good.
Look, my name is John.
Nice to meet you.
I couldn't help but notice over there, so like, I came over here to say what's up.
Hi.
Over though.
No, I don't give a. I can give you my Instagram.
Nah, see, I don't do all that social media shit. Like,
Well, I don't give out my number. I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm really not. Holy shit.
And she was right to not give you anything, you psychopath.
And I'm serious. Like, there are videos out there of like self-proclaimed dating coaches telling men that you can negotiate a no. Listen, let me save you from being locked up in your local county jail and you being put on a list by telling you right now, you can't negotiate a no, bro. There is no negotiating a no. No is no. And no is no is no is no. No is always going to be no. And honestly, I know what you're going to say. But Serge, what about the girls that say no but really mean yes? I don't give a fuck. Tell them to step up their riz. If you're telling me no, it's no. I don't care if you're saying no, but it's yes, but it's yes, but it's no. Say what you mean and mean what you say. If you want to get clapped, say that. But if not, do not tell me no and then be like, oh, but you're supposed to keep going. Fuck no. Do you not see my skin tone? You want me to go to jail? Fellas, honestly, it doesn't even matter what skin tone you are. If it's no, it's no. Do not put yourself in a situation like that. But let's continue. Now, this is something perplexing to me. Like, we live in a world where a woman setting a boundary for a guy feels like an insult instead of what it is, just a boundary. And when you don't know how to handle that, obviously you're gonna lash out. So the ultimate question here is, how do we better handle rejection? Let me take you on a crash course real quick. It's gonna take about like 30 seconds, 2 minutes tops, but let's get into it. Now, I've been rejected plenty of times. I told you all this story already. I'm not rehashing that moment again. Sometimes it gives me PTSD. Women have curved me, they've ghosted me, and told me I wasn't their type. All of that. And guess what? I'm still here. I'm in a great relationship. You know, life is good. Things haven't gone to shit like black pillars might tell you. So no, your life is not going to be ruined if this woman tells you no. But here's the truth. Rejection is not about your worth. It's just about compatibility. And honestly, it's about preference too. Yes, that goes for guys not liking fat women, ladies. That's a preference. All right? Stop thinking it's us being assholes. Stop. But when you tie your self-worth to whether or not a woman approves of you, that's when rejection feels like life or death. And that's when you do dumb shit like sniff requests and hit and runs. You gotta expect the rejection, right? Like, not every woman is gonna be into you. And if you shoot your shot, you gotta be cool with missing sometimes. Like, guys, you gotta apply the same concept to basketball with just about everything you do. Like, if you're gonna lie to me right now when I ask you this question, the problem isn't women, it's you. So you're gonna sit here and tell me every single shot you've ever taken in basketball, it's went in? Straight net every time. Lie to me right now. Exactly. So if you and I both know every single shot that you shot on a basketball hoop has not always gone in, what the fuck makes you think that's not going to apply to women or just life in general? See, this is why I think sales is probably the most important industry any guy could put themselves in. And the reason why I say that is because with sales, you will be rejected more times than you'd actually like to admit. Now, when I used to work in tech, I used to do a lot of tech sales. I was an account executive for a little bit, started off as a sales development representative. But throughout that time, dog, I was making like almost 100 calls a day. And that shit fucking sucked. I hated it. People would bang the phone on me. People would tell me to fucking delete myself. People would tell me to get a better job. You know, the list goes on and on. God forbid if they found out I was brown, much like a Call of Duty lobby back in 2008, I would be cooked. But needless to say, I've learned a lesson in being rejected. It's gonna happen. And there's no way you can avoid it. You can be the best anything. And even when we talk about being like this quote unquote high value guy with like 6 feet, 6 inches, 6-figure salary, all this other crazy shit, or shit that doesn't really matter, dog, you still might not be appealing to women who even claim they want shit like that. You know, you gotta remember, the internet is a strange place, right? It's a place where people can pretend they're anything and everything, and at the same time, they live similar lives to the person that lives right next to them. This is just the reality of the situation. So, gentlemen, firstly, never get so, don't get so caught up in like this woman's aura, or like how she presents herself online. And for women, I'd say the same exact thing. Like how a guy presents himself on Instagram or whatever the case may be is not going to be a direct, you know, transition into how he lives his actual life. Remember, you're seeing the highlight of a lot of people's moments. Unfortunately for some people though, they get so caught up in thinking that that's their life for real that they treat other people, you know, in an unsavory manner. Now, I'm not saying that's what happened in this situation. This situation is absolutely ridiculous. Motherfucker wanted to smell feet. He got told no and ran her over. Crazy in my opinion. All I'm trying to say is when you put less pressure on yourself to be an image or like carry an image out, that when you see someone in person, it takes the pressure off. And same thing with the understanding that you may not even be this person's preference, even if you were to do all of those things. So I know this sounds cliche as shit. And for you dudes who look like Ninja Turtles, I know this might not be worth anything to you, but honestly, be yourself. Like, be yourself. That's really all I can say, man. You know, and you'll meet someone who, you know, either rocks with that or they don't. So that's it. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. This story, in my personal opinion, is kind of wild. Listen, guys, again, rejection happens at any moment in time. So please don't put yourself in a position to where you're trying to sniff feet in public and then, you know, you get rejected. At the very least, at least do it in private. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might get a much higher chance of that happening if you ask in person. I like feet, you know, and sometimes, you know, back in my single days, hey, yeah, I want to see your feet. That's just me though. I could be real about that. But anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.